To any Wuthering Waves fan, the month of March has been an absolutely fire month. In this month, we not only got a few characters teased, we also got a closed beta test announced, and it's coming next month, so we'll be able to play the game. Well, at least a few of us will be able to play the game by next month. And then right after that, we get CBT footage. I mean, it's a good time to be a Wuthering Waves fan. Now, as a Wuthering Waves fan, we know that this game has come quite a long way. So let's, in this video, talk about how far the game has come from the technical test to this closed beta test. Now, one of the most noticeable things you're going to notice, aside from the graphics, like I could go on an entire rant on how good the graphics are, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'd already know that I'm pretty amazed by how good the graphics are. But aside from that, one thing that got very major changes is the UI of the open world. The stamina bar has now been changed to a much more discernible color, and this was one complaint I had from the technical test. Like, the color of the stamina bar there, yeah, it's blue, that was fine, but I didn't like the fact that it wasn't very easy for you to tell, especially if you were playing with Yang. Like, it would be sort of difficult for you to tell that that exists. But now having it as yellow makes a lot more sense to me, and then it's now a circle instead of a straight rectangle, which in my opinion makes a bit more sense because that's a bit more conservative of space and it's not like all over the place. Now, this circle in my opinion has potential because what you can do is anytime your stamina increases, you can just increase the circumference of the entire circle, so you make the circle bigger and you don't essentially have to make a very long bar for stamina. This makes a lot of sense. Another thing that has changed is the heads-up display for the characters. Now, in the technical test, the character select options that you see by the right normally would have the character's name, their health bar, and their character icon. I really like how this one looks. It's more compact than anything. I do have some gripes with it, but I'll get to that in just a little bit. Aside from that, the health bar got a change that I find questionable. Now, let's actually talk about these little changes for a bit. For the active character selector, I like how it's just a circle with the character's icon on it and then their health bar right under. It makes things a lot more compact. But now, if you look closely to some of the characters, you will see a tick mark on top of their heads. Now, this tick mark actually signifies that the character's ultimate is ready. I think this isn't a good decision. Now, my problem with this tick mark is it's just a tick mark and it may conflict with co-op gameplay. Now, we don't have any info on how co-op is going to work in this game, but let's say for instance that you are in someone else's world and you guys are trying to get ready for something, and then you try to know if this person is ready and you're seeing a tick mark. You can easily confuse that tick mark to be that the person is ready, and then you just go in and there could be a problem. Now, I have not seen the co-op gameplay, I'm just saying this based off what I'm seeing here, but that could be a potential problem. I think how Kuro can actually change this is by changing that to not a tick mark, but rather an icon that shows the character's ultimate. So just replace that icon with the icon that you see at the bottom right. Well, the IGN logo is covering it, but you get the idea. The health bar is a little strange. Like, I think what they're trying to go for is a white health bar that will go to yellow when your health is about halfway, and then red when it's actually very low. That makes sense, but I think the full color, like when the health bar is actually at a 100%, should be changed because the text inside the health bar is actually also white. It just has a black stroke around it, and I feel like that is not a very good design choice. That's just me. I don't think that's a good design choice. Like, you could change the health bar's color to be something else, like maybe gray or something else, or if you want to leave it as white, remove the numbers from inside it. That's just my opinion on the heads-up display. Before I leave off this UI section, let me actually table some of the concerns that the community has posted on both Reddit and Discord and the rest regarding the footage that IGN posted. The first one is about the pause menu. A lot of people were concerned that the pause menu, this one that you're seeing on screen right now, with the animation where our character is looking at their wrist and then we see the pause menu, is gone. I personally don't think this is gone because we never actually expressly see the pause menu. Now, I do know where this complaint is coming from. If you look in the technical test footage, you'll actually see that from the pause menu, if you go over to the party selection screen, you can still see the animation of the character looking at their wristwatch, and then you can do the party customization and then leave the menu. Now, in the closed beta test footage we saw, you don't see that. Immediately you just press the button to go into the party selection, you just go into this black screen which does not have that animation, and I'm guessing this is what people saw and they were thinking that, oh no, this animation has been removed. But I don't personally think that it was removed. What I'm thinking that happened is that when you press the button to actually go directly to the party selection screen, it doesn't show that animation, but if you go from the pause menu to that screen, then you'll actually still see the wristwatch animation. Now, this is totally a theory on my part. I am not 100% sure, and what I'll say to the community is wait until we actually get our hands on this. I'm sure this is one of the first things a lot of people will test. If I get my hands on it, probably it's the first thing you will see in my first ever video for it, to make sure that we clear that up. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the character upgrade screen. Now, I was browsing on Reddit and I saw this thread where people were talking about how the thread looks very bland. Like, they don't like how it looks. It needs some more spice and all that. Now, I personally don't mind how this menu looks. It looks perfectly fine to me. There are only a few things that I could change. One is the upgrade icon. I think that just looks a little strange. And then aside from that, the font, which is actually also the third thing that I needed to talk about. The font has had the community giving a lot of mixed reactions, but majority of the reactions, including my own, are that the font that is being used here is a little strange. Like, it just doesn't seem to fit in with the vibe of the world. It looks out of place almost. I can't really articulate in words what I mean, but a UI and UX designer would probably be able to do it, but it just looks strange. I don't think this font is a good font to use. So if Kuro is actually watching this video, I think you guys should just actually consider tweaking that a little. Now, I think I've actually addressed every single UI problem that I saw in the community. So let's now move on to the animations. Now, in the animations, I want to talk about three particular things. I want to talk about movement, I want to talk about combat, and I want to talk about the Tacet Fields. Now, I'll start off with the Tacet Fields because these have the most noticeable change from the technical test to the closed beta test. Whenever you actually defeat all the enemies in a Tacet Field, you don't get an animation at all for it. Like, the enemies just disappear and then you get your reward. Now, in the closed beta test, you can actually see an animation with the cleansing of the Tacet Field actually happening before you actually get your reward. I actually love this animation. Another thing we just have to talk about, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about graphics, but let's actually just talk about the fact that they actually managed to make the Tacet Field feel like a different area entirely from the open world. Like, you know you're in the open world, but it just doesn't feel right. So even if you just mistakenly wandered in, you would know that something is wrong. And then if a regular player were to then see the enemies, they'd probably think, okay, maybe this dark sky and all of this can be dealt with if I kill off these enemies. It's a very smart thing to do, and I absolutely love it. Now let's move on to combat. Now, there are two major things I want to talk about in movement. The first one is the echo animations. Now, I can see that the echoes have gotten some new and revamped animations. These animations are different from what I remember from the previous technical test, and I absolutely love the new animations. The second thing I'll talk about is the ultimate animations for the characters. Now, the characters that we've gotten so far, Yang Yang, Qixia, Bailian, Anka, I believe that's how it's pronounced. If I mispronounce that, please tell me how to pronounce it correctly, and Jian, all aren't supposed to be the premium characters. So in PGR terms, that would be the 6-star characters or a transcendent character. Yet these characters have unique animations for their ultimate skills. I absolutely love that, and that makes me wonder, how will the premium characters, the 6-star or the transcendent characters. We still don't know what the rarity of characters are, so please don't take my word on that. I want to actually know how those characters' ultimate animations look. It's very interesting. Now, it's not like this is a major change. Now, we can already see that in the technical test, these animations were there, but they are slightly changed. Like Yang Yang's is changed because Chixia got an entire makeover. She also got a new animation. I think this is actually the first time we're seeing Jiyan, so his animation is also unique, and that's actually pretty nice in my opinion. Now, before I end off the video, I'm going to address one community problem that was actually repeating itself quite a bit. It's about the puzzles and challenges in the world. The IGN footage starts off showing us this challenge that basically is a race that we have to get from point A to point B while collecting orbs, and that is one of the major puzzles you see in the game. And a lot of people are like, this is going to get boring very fast. And I do agree. Like, whenever I think about Wuthering Waves, I mostly think about PGR. And PGR is a hack and slash game where your combat skills, your ability to dodge, your ability to read your opponents, your ability to time your opponent's attacks correctly is actually put to the test. And I was thinking that the challenges in the open world would actually showcase this. Now, I'm not actually making any criticisms of what we have already, because Kuro Games has already said that this game is going to be catered to both casual players and hardcore players. So because Kuro Games said that, what I'm going to tell the community is, let's actually wait till we get the closed beta test. What we see in this footage is gameplay that is more suited to casual players. By the time a few hardcore players actually get into this beta, we'll actually start to see some of the more challenging challenges, and then we'll know whether or not we are supposed to give some feedback to Kuro, telling them to change or add some stuff. But that aside, I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out updates on the Wuthering Waves closed beta test. If I manage to get in, I'll be posting some challenges and maybe some guides on this channel. Even if I don't get in, I'll still make some occasional videos. And if you're also waiting for Arknight's Endfield to come out, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Whenever we start to get news for that, I'll actually drop some videos on that. Also, make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram for updates on both of those games. And I think that's where I'll leave off the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.